Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Horse Racing Mark. I'm going to do something different in this video, okay? I'm not going to be specifically looking at one horse for backing or laying, but I'm going to be looking at a different market, okay? I'm going to be looking at who is going to be the top trainer at this year's Cheltenham Festival. And as you probably imagined, the all-conquering Willie Mullins is a heavy odds-on to come out on top at this year's Cheltenham Festival, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through each day, and we're going to go through it all, and we're going to see if the market's correct, okay? And if there is any value to be had, okay? But here's the prices, right? Brace yourself. Willie Mullins 1 to 6. Nicky Henderson 6 to 1. Gordon Elliott 10 to 1. Dan Skelton 25 to 1. Gavin Cromwell 33 to 1. Henry de Bromhead is 40 to 1. And Paul Nicholls is 100 to 1. 100 to 1 is a huge price. If I told you that 10 years ago, you would not have believed me, okay? But let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. Starting off, day one, Supreme Novice Hurdle, okay? The all-conquering Willie Mullins has a very good record in this race, okay? Quebec de Bordeaux, 4 to 5, best price available to get the all-conquering Willie Mullins off to a flyer, okay? Very, very impressive at Leopardstown. Very impressive. And the time was very, very good. I think on all known form, it's very difficult to look past the all-conquering Willie Mullins in the Supreme Novice Hurdle. So he's likely to get off to a flyer, and he's off one, okay? Next race. This is a lot of people's banker of day one at the Cheltenham Festival, which is Madgeborough, okay? Currently 4 to 7, best price available. I backed Madgeborough in the Triumph Hurdle last year at big prices, 16s, 14s and 12s. I got very good information. I have a good source over there that this horse is very, very talented. And yeah, we cleaned up. All my clients were on at big prices. The original plan was to go for the Browns Advisory, but because Ballyburn was so disappointing behind Sergino, and Ballyburn, he'd be very struggling to run this distance over 2 miles, Madgeborough has now been put into this race. And my only concern with Madgeborough is that I think he will be a better horse over further. I think this is a future Gold Cup horse. And I wasn't convinced massively with the jumping left, right last time out. And he's going to get put under pressure at Cheltenham in the Arkle. 4 to 7 short enough. It doesn't look the strongest of races, but he needs to get his jumping right, and if he makes a lot of mistakes at Cheltenham, he could get found out. So I'm not sure how that one's going to go, okay? And that one's trained, again, by the all-conquering Willie Mullins. And then we're straight into the big handicaps, the Ultima. Absolute minefield. The weights did come out this week. This is an absolute minefield here. We're going, 7 to 1 the field. No surprise. I mean, we've got the Changing Man's currently favourite at 7 to 1 for Joe Tizard. This one was quite impressive last time out at Ascot. The form looks okay, but Jenko Blue was unseated on that occasion. Grade 2 company. Absolute minefield, and I haven't made any decision for these big handicaps. They're absolute minefields, and it's very, very difficult to find value, in my opinion. I prefer looking at the smaller meetings, especially with big handicaps, okay? But back onto, okay? This is a very, very interesting mare, okay? We're looking at the Mares Hurdle on day one. Brighter days ahead, 8 to 15 for Gordon Elliott. Is she going to win the Champion Hurdle, or is she going to win the Mares? I think Gordon can win whatever race he wants. I think she's a super, super mare. She is so talented. Like, that performance last time out at Leopardstown was unreal, you know? Unreal. The time was good. Sam Ewing gave this horse an absolute peach. King of Kingsfield done its job. Danny Gilligan, they got the fractions spot on. I think whatever race she runs in, I think she's going to win, okay? So, Gordon Elliott, up to you. Do you want to win the Mares, or do you want to win the Champion Hurdle, okay? Apart from that, Lossiemouth, she's 7 to 4. She's not been herself this season. She was very disappointing behind Constitution Hill in the Christmas Hurdle at Kempton Park, and she nearly fell next time out. You know what? She's 7 to 4, and I think she's short on what she's shown. She took a really heavy fall, and that's probably shirked her issue. And what we often find with mares, as soon as they go off the boil, they're no good after that, at least for a while. Obviously, I'm not the all-conquering Willie Mullins, but he'll know more than me. But I wouldn't run Lossiemouth. I would just let her off for the rest of the season, come back again. Last thing you want is a beautiful mare like her to get injured. Definitely not. But I'm hoping Brighter Days Ahead runs in the next race, though. in the Champion Hurdle. Currently best price available 9-4. Whatever race she runs in, I think she'll win. That's just my personal opinion. I've not seen anything like the 2022, 2023 Constitution Hill. The form looks pretty garbage to me. Like Brentford Hope, what price is he in this race? He is in this race. He's 66-1. I'm not saying he's going to reverse the form of Constitution Hill, but he's a 66-1 shot. He's literally the outsider of the field. The form is absolutely garbage from the Unibet Hurdle. The Kempton Gallop as well. Aston Martini in behind. He can't win off 1, 2, 3. We've learned absolutely nothing, and I think people are playing a very dangerous game backing Constitution Hill at 4-7. You're completely guessing that he's going to bounce back and improve £20. Not for me. Brighter days ahead. If she doesn't run in this race, it is going to be easier for Constitution Hill, and he's probably value around the current price because the race complexion is going to be completely different. State Man hasn't looked himself this season. Lossiemouth, I don't think she'll run, so it could get very easy for Constitution Hill if Brighter Days Ahead doesn't run. But I'll be keeping my cards close to my chest. Haven't made a decision how I'm going to play it yet. I need to know where Brighter Days Ahead's going before I know what I'm going to do. But that looks quite a competitive race, if I'm being honest with you. Next one, the Fred Winter again, absolute minefield. We're going what? 5-1 the field here. We've got Zetterholm here. He's got the 5-1 favourite in Stenser here. JP McManus, the bookmaker's not taking any chances here. The issue with this is like this trainer, he's got quite a bad record sending them over. A lot of them are getting beat. I think the interesting one would probably be the Joseph O'Brien runner, especially in those colours. They do very, very well, and the horses are plotted very, very well at the Cheltenham Festival. Naturally nimble at 10-1. Could be quite interesting. But obviously, Joseph O'Brien isn't even in the betting for the top trainers market. Looking at the next one, the National Hunt Cup. Again, another minefield. We've got a few in here that are quite short. We've got Now Is the Hour, Gavin Cromwell. He's off 139 here, but this is a top trainer. How good has Gavin Cromwell done this season? And there has been people who've said, is he second fiddle now to the all-conquering Willie Mullins? Let's see how he gets on at the Cheltenham Festival, but he's definitely stepped it up a level this season. He's got so many talented horses. And Keith Donoghue, how well is he riding right now? It looks like a really strong partnership. But after day one at the Cheltenham Festival, I think it's difficult to say who's going to come out on top. I mean, the Supreme Novice Hurdle could go to the all-conquering Willie Mullins. I think Madgeborough, the jumping is a bit funny. We've got the mares. We don't know what Gordon's going to do there or what Willie's doing. We've got the Champion Hurdle. There's question marks about Constitution Hill. And the handicaps as well. God knows what's going to happen there. So I think it's very difficult to say who's going to be in front in the top trainers market after day one at the Cheltenham Festival. On to day two, okay? We're going to start with the Bingham Novice Hurdle, right? Final Demand, very impressive last time out. 6-4 for the all-conquering Willie Mullins. Could he replicate the success as of day one, winning the first race, okay? I think Romeo Coolio is very, very interesting. I think the time last time out was very good. Ran very well last time in the Cheltenham Festival. In the bumper, I think was very unlucky, just got run down. I think the form last time out at Leopardstown was pretty solid, was very impressive behind Blue Devassi. I mean, this one's definitely going there with a live chance. I mean, this is no mug, currently 8-1 is a fair price. Going on to the next one, the Browns Advisory. This is the race I thought Madgeborough was going to run in, but went for the Arkle instead. Ballyburn is 7-4. You know, I think he was well beaten behind Sergino at Kempton visually, and the form clearly shows that as well. I'm not so sure about him, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Rating of 160. The head carriage at last year's Cheltenham Festival pulled like an absolute train. I know people say that's just his running style, but geez, you wouldn't even want to be on one of them at 7-4. The way he jumps as well, I'm not so sure. I think he's quite short at 7-4. I think this is a really wide open race. I think Dancing City is one that's going under the radar. Got a bit to find on official ratings. Got £8 with the favourite, but done absolutely nothing wrong this season. Was good at Punchestown on debut, and obviously at Naas last time out, absolutely bolted up. Was very, very impressive under Paul Townend. I'd be interested to know what Paul Townend's going to ride in this race as well. It looks quite an open race. I think Champ Kylie as well is a big price at 25-1. There's a lot of hype around this horse. Had a little bit of time off. Bit to find at the weights, but off 145 here. Has a bit to find the reins. And Gordon has Better Days Ahead, his best chance in this race, off 152. It's 8-1. He's a really likeable sort. better days ahead. He was good at Navan last time out. He was game against Stellar Story. I think that form looks okay as well. I think this looks mightily competitive, and I think it's difficult to say who this is going to, but the betting would suggest Willie Mullins has the best hand in this card. And looking at the next race, the first horse in there, Langer Dan, the Coral Cup, 16-1. The handicapper hasn't been fooled this time around, has he? 16-1. He's well up in the weights now. I mean, he's running. Is he even going to run in that race? He's probably going to go in one of the graded races. But again, this is an absolute minefield. The weights, the handicaps have just came out for this. But the current favourite right now is another Skelton horse, Be Aware. It's 7-1. The form at Ascot looks okay. It was given quite a, as I say, sympathetic ride, and it looks like this race was, and that was off 137. Interested to know what the handicapper does, but it'll be interesting to know how this race unfolds. But I think it looks wide open. This is an absolute minefield, and you've got Willie Mullins in there as well. But Copec de May, 5-1. It's difficult to know what this horse beat in Otoy first time out. Could be absolutely anything, okay? It looks like an absolute minefield, and I'm actually getting a headache even looking at it, if I'm being brutally honest with you. And next one, the Glenfarse Cross County. Usually this race was renowned for those Gigginstown colours. We've got Tiger Roll, Delta Work, and obviously Delta Work unfortunately lost his life recently. I did see as well that some bookies were still offering prices on it when the horse was dead, which is absolute crazy. But I think this race revolves around one horse, is Stumptown. So impressive at Cheltenham last time out, shown that he handles the course. Keith Donoghue had so much in hand. Was impressive at Punchestown the last twice, 3 times. Well, he fell the time before, but even he was travelling quite well. The last twice, impressive, shown that he handles Cheltenham as well, the cross country. I think he certainly looks like the one to beat, and he could be the first or second winner for Gavin Cromwell at this year's Cheltenham Festival on day 2. Next race, Queen Mother Chase, Grade 1. Jambon, 5-6. I've seen a lot of people wanting to take this horse on, and in the past I have been quite critical of this horse, but this season I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's free from free. I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's rated 171. He was good at Sandown. He was good at Ascot, and he's got the Cheltenham form as well. So I think people are just looking to take this horse on. I mean, you could say that he did make mistakes when he got turned over at 1-4 back last year. But since then, he's been very impressive. He's won 5 from 5. I think it's difficult to take him on. Like, I don't see anything else in this race to take him on with, especially, the only horse that could be dangerous is Solness. If that thing gets an easy lead, could be dangerous, but it's got a bit to find, got £10 to find with Jambon on official ratings. Was impressive at Leopardstown the last twice, certainly shown that the win on the 27th of December was no fluke, because backed it up next time out, holding the form with Gaelic Warrior. I think the interesting horse, and Marine Nationale, I think for sentimental reasons, I think we would all want Marine Nationale to do the business, because obviously the news with Michael Sullivan passing and these connections, and obviously him winning the Supreme Hurdle. But I think this one's got a bit to find. The French horse as well, Elliott Francais, I was wanting to take that one on at Kempton on Boxing Day, and I got it all wrong. I couldn't believe the lead that one got. I think Jambon, I think people are being a bit harsh on this horse. I think it looks quite a weak race, and he certainly looks like the one to beat for Nicky Henderson. Going on to the next one, the Johnny Henderson Grand Annual Challenge Cup. Okay, another minefield. The weights, the prices, everything has just came out, and I won't be making a decision on this race right now. I need to see what's going to run. I need to analyse all the fields, and again, this is an absolute minefield. I'm looking for big price selections for value, and it's difficult to find it here because everything's trying. Okay, anything can win this race, and from a betting perspective, I'd probably leave the race alone. And on to the last one, the Champion Bumper. I've had an absolute shocker in this race, right? I got information on a horse. She was working very, very well at home, and now she's a non-runner like 48 hours after. Thankfully, we took non-runner no bet. My clients, we got 33-1, 25-1. Immediately, the bookies went 18s and 16s because the bookies know they're not stupid, all right? They're scared, okay? You know you're getting the value. But this thing was working like an absolute machine at home. Her time was so good. Really, really strong work. But she's a non-runner, and she's not running anymore, which is a bloody nightmare, okay, because we had huge value, okay. That wraps up day 2 at the Cheltenham Festival, okay. And looking at the market, right, of the trainers market, 1 to 6 Willie Mullins is starting to look a bit short now, if I'm being honest with you, because a couple of his, there is question marks. We've got to see what his form is within the next 2 weeks as well. But yeah, we have to see what happens. I don't think there's any clear-cut winner here for the champion trainer after the first 2 days, if I'm being brutally honest with you. So we're going on to day 3. Ryanair, okay, Mayor's Novice. The all-conquering Willie Mullins. Is he going to prove me wrong, okay? And he might, with the fittingly named Maureen, which is named after Maureen Mullins. She was very, very impressive on debut and bumper. She did miss last year's Cheltenham Festival. She ran twice at Punchestown. She's absolutely bolted up, okay? 1 to 2 and 4 to 11. The money was on, they knew. But she did miss last year's Cheltenham Festival. She's currently 7 to 2 to get the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I think it's difficult to gauge how strong the form is, and I think people are getting a bit emotionally invested, sentimental stuff, because it's Maureen Mullins and the all-conquering Willie Mullins. There's one in here I think's got pretty solid form, and I think it's the bottom one of Joseph O'Brien. Obviously, he's not in the trainers market for this, but 8 to 1, I think that's a big price for Galileo Dame. The 2 seconds this year at Leopardstown, I think, look okay. I think the 16 to 1 behind Hello Neighbour, who looks exceptional for Gavin Cromwell, looks value, and this one's 8 to 1. I think that could be a value selection there. Again, I don't think this is as clear cut for the all-conquering Willie Mullins. We've got Aura Vega in there, but looks no superstar. Certainly nowhere near Facile Vega, and that ability was pulled up at 1 to 10 at Wexford as well. So this thing definitely comes here with question marks, in my opinion. And even got Henry de Bromhead. First time he mentioned any of his horses. We've got Air of Entitlement at 20 to 1. For the Robicore colours, 20 to 1. Again, you've got to question how strong the form is at Down Royal last time out. Sean Flanagan rode this one, but absolutely bolted. That was very, very visually impressive. But you have to question, what did Air of Entitlement beat last time out? I mean, Henry de Bromhead is a trainer that certainly knows the time of day. He's had some top class animals, the likes of Honeysuckle and stuff. He knows the time of day. And one thing I've noticed with Henry de Bromhead is that his horses always peak at the Cheltenham Festival. They always peak at the Cheltenham Festival. Like, take Captain Guinness last year. That horse was 10, 15 pound inferior to when it turned up in March, and certainly improved. He knows how to train, and he knows the time of day, Henry de Bromhead. Big fan of that trainer, okay? Moving on to the next one. I've got a horse here that's been very, very popular, especially on my TikTok page, which is Gordon Elliott's Croke Park, 16 to 1. People are all about this horse, you know. It was very, very impressive at Fairyhouse in Leopardstown. People may have thought it was a fluke at Fairyhouse at 22s, but held on gamely and stepped up and tripped, done the business over 3 miles. Bumped into Ballyburn next time out, was beaten there. Ballyburn outstayed that, but I think this one is a live outsider here at 16 to 1. Again, he's got a few in here, Gordon Elliott. He's got Firefox as well at 8 to 1. I think Gordon Elliott has a really good hand in this race. He's a top trainer, isn't he, Gordon Elliott? Even Joseph O'Brien's got Nürburgring in here. He's not in the market 8s, but I think Gordon Elliott's got a good hand in this race. But again, you're looking at 25, 30 run a handicap. It's absolute madness. From a betting perspective, I think Gordon Elliott, he knows the time of day. I think Jingle Blue for Nicky Henderson, I'd be a bit put off with that performance, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Last time this thing ran at Cheltenham as well, last year was pulled up. Absolutely no chance. Has a bit to find for me. I think Gordon Elliott's got a good hand in here. Looking on to the next race, the Pertemps Network. God, this race is just full of fiddles and handicaps, isn't it? I mean, Gordon Elliott has the Wall Park, doesn't he? 5 to 1, being very, very well found in the market. This was as big as 12 to 1 when prices opened. God, man, it's just absolute filth, isn't it? I mean, even looking at this race, I mean, there's just absolute fiddles and skullduggery going on. From a betting perspective, like, it's difficult to know what you've got value-wise here, because you don't know how strong the form is, what's been trying, what could have won by further. A race I would certainly leave alone for betting purposes, but Gordon Elliott, JP McManus, well found in the market. You add it up, okay? Next one, Ryanair Chase, okay? Banbridge at 5 to 1. Interesting for Joseph O'Brien, right? I had an absolute shocker at Cork on the 8th of December. I had a big bet on Banbridge, and I was absolutely gutted because I was so confident that he was going to turn over an Ergamine. I had a big bet, 2025s, 33s, had a huge bet on, and he's fell at the last when he was just, in my opinion, going to pick up an Ergamine who wasn't finding much over the last. And what made it even worse is that he went on to win the fucking King George next time out. Disgusting, okay? Disgusting. But listen, it is what it is. But we're going for a few races here. Joseph O'Brien's got some live contenders here. I'm not sure why Bent 365 don't have any markets for this, but the one that is favourite right now is Fact to File of the all-conquering Willie Mullins, 6-4 currently. He is likely to go the Ryanair. I think it's difficult to make a case that he's gonna reverse the form of Galloping Deschamps. He's certainly putting his place in the Savills Chase over 3 miles. He did beat Galloping Deschamps over 2 mile free in the John Durkin, but Galloping Deschamps needs further, let's be honest. And then obviously Leopardstown, the Paddy Power Irish Gold Cup, he's well beaten again by Galloping Deschamps. I think he's definitely going to go Ryanair. The form looks pretty solid, to be honest with you. He's running over the right trip. People might see second and third, they might think he might be a bit of a shirker, but look at the form. He's behind the all-conquering Galloping Deschamps, who is the ultimate legacy horse, isn't he? He's the horse in form. Gaelic Warrior at 7-2, again for the all-conquering Willie Mullins. No, I don't think the form's great. I think he's too short. He might actually be one I might be looking at laying the place market. Gaelic Warrior, certainly not ran on or improved since last season. I think he's got a bit to find. But I think Banbridge is certainly overpriced at 5-1. He probably looks like the solid each way in the race. Going on to the next one, the Paddy Power Stairs Hurdle, okay? Again, this is some people's banker, Tiopo, best price available, 11-1. Another one for Gordon Elliott. What do we make of that run at Fairyhouse? I mean, was well beaten by Lossiemouth. And Lossiemouth, in my opinion, hasn't been herself this season. She didn't go a yard at Kempton. She nearly fell next time out in Ireland. And even if you go back and watch that race, Lossiemouth defeated Tiopo, right? She was very keen. She didn't settle. She made mistakes, and she still won. So then that makes you question, what did she beat? Because Tiopo, if he was gonna win, that was the opportunity, wasn't it? And as I say, I don't know how strong the form is, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I think even money, I'm not sure. I think he's quite short even money, if I'm being brutally honest with everyone. I think this could potentially have a boil over this race. I think Home by the Lees had a lot of chances, and I think 6-1 is short enough. This horse hasn't shown his best form at the Cheltenham Festival. He's been bang there, but he just seems to find one or two too good. I mean, he's had a lot of running this season. I mean, he ran this time behind Tiopo and the likes of Flooring Porter. He's beat 5 lengths. Tiopo holds him on form, but I'm not so sure how the Lossiemouth form is this season, how strong it is. I thought Hidden Valley Lake was kind of interesting at a big price. Maybe go down the handicap route, I'm not sure, but this thing needs further. I'm not so sure. Maybe at a big price, one at a big price for Henry de Bromhead could run on for a place. But outside of that, it doesn't look like there's much in the field, does there? We've got that French horse, Gold Tweet, who was very who has been very, very impressive previously at Cheltenham. But what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I mean, this thing absolutely bolted up at 14-1, 2023, and they think this thing behind Dasher Drasher, the likes of Paisley Park, absolutely buoyed up, but it's shown nowhere near that level of form since. Could this one bounce back? Certainly shown that it handles the course, but I think this race, it looks wide open. I think Tiopo's probably a bit short. I think there could be a boil over in that race. We'll go on to the next one. The Trusted Trader Plus Handicap Chase. American Mike, that's the first one I'm looking at, 12-1 for Gordon Elliott. I seem to be seeing a lot of Gordon Elliott horses here. Maybe that 6-1 is value. I think 1-6 Mullins is quite short, because if he doesn't get off to a good start on day 1 and day 2, he could be in a bit of trouble, okay? He could be in a bit of trouble. I think again, this is an absolute minefield. I thought one was quite interesting, was that the other Mozzie at 14-1 of Gavin Cromwell's, I think off a mark of 138, I think this is workable, and I think that this horse could have won by a lot further last time out. And Gavin Cromwell is a trainer that I really, really like. I don't know if he's going to run in this race, but he's a trainer that I really, really like, and I think he's certainly won going places. Another one, I think at a big price is, and he's not in the market, it's Ben Pauling's Personal Ambition, 25 to 1. Was well beaten at Windsor, but if he's shown some of that earlier form, especially last season as well, he could be there with a live chance at a big price. But he was a bit disappointing at Windsor and Ascot, wasn't he? But he's a big price at 25 to 1. Again, this looks like an absolute minefield, and I'll probably not even be having a bet in this race. I only look for value, and I'll probably be looking at the smaller meetings. I mean, this is an absolute minefield. But this video is dedicated to finding who we think is going to be champion trainer over the 4 days. And it doesn't get any easier. The Kim Muir Challenge Cup amateur jockeys, we've not got any jockey bookings, the weights are just out. Again, this is an absolute minefield, but you want to be looking for the top Irish amateurs in this race. I mean, it's an absolute minefield. What, they going 10, 12, the field? I think once we see the jockey bookings, this market will be looking a bit more clearer. But right now, the favourite in the race is trained by all-conquering Willie Mullins, So Majest. Was impressive at Fairyhouse last time out, but what did he beat? 5 Runner Affair. And another one here's Gavin Cromwell's Now Is the Hour of 139. Looks like a potential plot job, doesn't it? Could Gavin Cromwell be a price? Been saying a lot of Cromwell horses, haven't we? But that's it for day 3. Going on to the final day of the Cheltenham Festival, okay? Top trainers market. We're going to start with the Triumph Hurdle, a race that I was successful in last year with Madgeborough. Had some really good information for that. I think it's difficult to look past East India Dock here, currently 2 to 1. Fantastic time at Cheltenham last time out, 10 seconds faster than Constitution Hill, and that's a furlong. That's a long way. I think it's difficult to shirk this horse. I mean, there's nothing really else in the race, is there? If East India Dock reproduces that time, East India Dock wins, makes it 4 from 4. I think it's really that simple. Going on to the next race, right, the County Hurdle. Again, an absolute minefield from a betting perspective. Where is the handicap job? Where is the absolute plunge here, right? I mean, interestingly, one horse, Absurd, is quite short in the betting of 146 here. Hasn't ran for a while since the 5th of November. And it ran at Flemington, you know. And could this thing be an absolute certainty? You know, we don't know, okay? This is a really interesting Absurd. He could be a handicap job. But I need to look more into it. I need to look into it, right? Another one of Willie Mullins, Jimmy DeSoy. He ran at last year's Cheltenham Festival and ran a massive race behind Ballyburn at 66 to 1 in the Gallagher's Novice Hurdle. He could be interesting, but the question is he a bit high in the weights of 146? But again, there's no guarantee that the all-conquering Willie Mullins has got this one in the bag. He's got a few runners in here, but there's other trainers in here as well. Nicky Henderson's got a few, Gavin Cromwell's got a few, Gordon Elliott's got a few as well. So I'm not so sure. Next one, we're going to look at the Mayor's Chase, okay? The Mayor's Chase. Dino Blue, all-conquering Willie Mullins at 13 to 8. How strong do I think that form is? I'm not sure. The colours would obviously be a bit of a concern if you're a layer, but the form at Naas, I mean, Allegory Devassi beat a neck. How strong's the form of 153? I don't know. I don't think it's a massively competitive race. I think Only by the Night is very, very interesting for that trainer. Again, Gavin Cromwell, he's got 2 live contenders in this race. Only by the Night, very impressive at Exeter and Cork and Tipperary. Has handled it. This one Can Travel, done the business at Exeter. Limerick Lace, I mean, again, another Gavin Cromwell runner, was very impressive at Cheltenham in the Mayor's. Won the race last year. Big price, 7 to 1. I mean, I think Gavin Cromwell, the more I'm going through this, is a big price. The only issue with the market for top trainer is it's win only. That's the only concern, okay? Yeah, that's the only concern. Looking on to the next race, Albert Bartlett, right? We've got Final Demand, who's in other markets as well. It's 2 to 1 for this race for the all-conquering Willie Mullins. There's going to be a lot of moving and stuff like that, but again, looks wide open. If Final Demand doesn't run for this race is absolutely wide open. Gavin Cromwell's got runners here. Gordon Elliott's got runners here. Henderson looks wide open. Moving on to the Cheltenham Gold Cup. In this market is revolved around the all-conquering Willie Mullins. Galloping Deschamps, the ultimate national hunt horse, the legacy horse, and a horse that I really want to win the Cheltenham Gold Cup, okay? Racing needs this because it's not in a great place. He's 1 to 2 currently to get the job done for the all-conquering Willie Mullins. Looking at the others in the race, I think, he holds most of them on form. I think Fact to File will go Ryanair. He's 6 to 1 currently. Banbridge is kind of interesting. I mean, won the King George last time out. Jumping, the question marks there, but we'll handle the trip. The interesting thing is, I've talked a lot about Joseph O'Brien horses in this video, and he's not even in the market. Okay, so Galloping Deschamps reproduces that run last time out at Leopardstown, will be very, very difficult to beat. Has proven that he handles Cheltenham. He did fall a few years back. He unseated when clear. But I think racing as a whole, we need Galloping Deschamps to win, okay? And especially if you've taken that 1-6 about Willie Mullins to be top trainer at this year's Cheltenham Festival. One at a price I thought was interesting was Grange Clear West. Certainly improved a lot, stepping up in trip. Needed that run first time out behind Galloping Deschamps in the Savills Chase, but improved stones at Leopardstown next time out. Was behind 4 lengths. I mean, I think this thing at 16-1 is a big price. I mean, in comparison to other horses in this race, the likes of Monty Star, Henry de Bromhead at 12s. I mean, Monty Star, bit to find. I mean, this trainer does peak around Cheltenham, but I think Grange Clear West is a big price. I think Grey Dawning has been pretty disappointing this season, hasn't shown its best form at Cheltenham. But let's be honest, right? Everyone wants Galloping Deschamps to win. I'm not a favourite backer, and even I want Galloping Deschamps to win, okay? Going to the next one, okay? St James Place, Festival Challenge Cup Hunter's Chase. Absolute minefield. This is not a race that I would get massively involved in. It's on the line, 4-1. I mean, this is an absolute minefield. Certainly not a race that I have zero interest in from a betting perspective. On the last race, right, the Martin Pipe, right, jockey bookings are very, very important in this race normally because, let's be honest, there is a class and difference in jockey ability, okay? That's going to change the market as well. The one that leads the betting right now is Gordon Elliott's Widow Who. Very, very impressive. What's won its last 5 or 6. Wasn't even that fancied in the market last time at Cheltenham back in December. Danny Gilligan took the ride there, won at 10-1 off 130. He will likely take the ride again because he knows the horse. Obviously, Gordon knows better than me, but again, this one looks could be a shoe-in off the handicap mark. Apart from that, I mean, it looks pretty wide open. Willie Mullins has got one in the race, Quebec Demi, of 136. I mean, his run in France at Auteuil, but no one knows how strong that form is. That one's 4-1 currently, by the all-conquering Willie Mullins. And we've got, I mean, there's nothing really else. The enablers in there as well, Solid Type at 20-1. I mean, this is a sort of race. I mean, Henry de Bromhead 14-1, Tap on the Tango. I mean, 14-1, I mean, of 135. I mean, this is a trainer at peaks around the Cheltenham Festival. I mean, Gordon's got so many runners on here as well. He's got Pater Merchant as well at 33s. Gavin Cromwell's got Will the Wise. I mean, this looks competitive for me. Again, there's no short price favourites in the race. It's very, very competitive. There'll be horses that have been lined up for gambles in this race as well. Yeah, so that wraps up 4 days of the Cheltenham Festival. It was a bit different to my normal videos. I'm not specifically talking about a specific horse, a back or a lay. I'm looking at a different market. I'm looking for value to see if the bookmakers have the top trainer market correctly priced for the Cheltenham Festival. And like going through that card completely organically and naturally going through each race, I don't think there is a 1-6 shot there. If Willie Mullins gets off to a bad start, I mean, 1-6 would probably look a bit short. I think Nicky Henderson is short, it's 6-1. And there was a lot of Gavin Cromwell runners that were mentioned and Gordon Elliott. I think Willie Mullins 1-6 is short enough. And what I have found, and you'll like this, I found the without Willie Mullins market on Bet 365. Unfortunately, there's no each way, because this would have been absolute filth against a Willie Mullins 1-6 shot, right? But it's win only. Bet 365 have cottoned onto this, okay? Without Willie Mullins, okay? Nicky Henderson 6-4, Gordon Elliott 15-8, Dan Skelton 7-2, Gavin Cromwell 15-2, Henry de Bromhead 9-1, and Paul Nicholls 33-1. So firstly, I think Henderson to finish second at 6-4 is pretty skinny. Pretty skinny. I think Gordon Elliott 15-8 should probably be favourite in this market. He's got a lot of big chances in the handicaps. He's got brighter days ahead. Top trainer. He's been there. He's done it. He's a top trainer. Dan Skelton, I think 7-2 to finish second is short. I think that's very short. I don't think he's got any real live contenders in the graded races. The handicappers cottoned on to what he was doing over the years with Langer Dan. I think 7-2 short. I think Gavin Cromwell at 15-2 is probably a bit too big. He's a trainer. He's definitely going places. He's got Stumptown, who looks pretty solid in the cross country. He's one who could easily get one lined up for a handicap as well. I would probably have Elliott favourite in the without market. I would have Gavin Cromwell around 4-1. And I think Henry de Bromhead is overpriced at 9-1 as well, because this is a trainer that going into the Cheltenham Festival, a lot of people overlook, but his horses always peak at the Cheltenham Festival. I mean, take Captain Guinness at last year's Cheltenham Festival. This thing had absolutely no chance on form. It's improved, what, a stone in the big race. His horses always peak around there, so he'd probably be around a 6-1 chance. And Paul Nicholls, crazy. I did this whole video 4 days and didn't mention one Paul Nicholls horse. Madness. I mean, if you go back 10, 15 years, Cato Star, Denman, Masterminded, I mean, he's not even in the market now. Certainly needs to change his ways, because the Irish are absolutely dominating right now. But listen, I hope this video has been educational for people, a bit different to my normal content, but I'd love to know, what's everyone's thoughts on the top trainer market at the Cheltenham Festival? Do you think Willie Mullins is an absolute certainty at 1-6? Would you be taking a bit of 1-6? Or would you be looking in the without Willie Mullins market? And how do you see it playing? Do you think I'm correct in my sort of quick analysis going through the races? What do you think of Gordon Elliott's chances, of Gavin Cromwell, Henry de Bromhead? My thoughts on them. I'd love to hear your thoughts, okay? And this content is different. It's not me backing or laying, because people get a bit uptight about things that I say. You've got an opinion, I've got an opinion. This is different, okay? This is different, okay? We've been in great form, right? My betting service has been in great form this week, okay? We had an 11-1 winner on Saturday, top information. We got 2 Saturday winners consecutive, 2 bets, 2 big price winners, 17-2 and 11-1, top class information. We had a 14-1 second air on Monday. 5 lengths clear jump in the last, and we've just been caught up the running. We've traded 1-25. This is top class information, okay? I have sent out 1 Cheltenham Festival selection, and it's already a non-runner. How unlucky is that? But it's a non-runner, no bet, so no damage has done. I'm 60% off right now. This gives you access to all my daily selections, my information, just like my 11-1 winner, 14-1 second. This is top class information. You could not have backed this on form, okay? I've had a ton of new clients that have joined, over 100, and a lot of them have came from YouTube as well, so they will back me up here, okay? The information is good, and I want to get more of you on board. I want more people backing value, backing winners and making profit, and trying to stay away from those short price favourites, okay? 60% off right now. All the daily selections, Cheltenham Festival, and you get entry as well. Huge value, okay? If you want to get on board, and I want you to get on board because you don't want to miss this. Got so much information lined up the next 2 weeks. Link is in bio. Drop me a comment, or you can drop me an email, okay? But make sure you like, subscribe this video, okay? Leave me a comment and get on board. You don't want to miss this, okay? I look forward to hearing from you. Good luck.